man invited me to have sex today. I ain't feel like it, so I said no. He didn't call me a bitch or a hoe, not that it changed my decision. It didn't even catch my attention that he was being respectful, because my no is enough for someone to fall back from sex. My treasure is my treasure. I have pride in what is between my thighs. I call her my best friend. Our relationship has been a little bit of this and that, but today I can say that I have more control over her than she has over me. I protect her from evil energies. I even look at her to make sure that everything is copacetic. However, my ancestors could not. In slavery, the very dawn of life was darkened by shadows of sin and sorrows. When a slave girl entered her 15 years of life, she was compelled to realize that she was no longer a child. Her master would whisper foul words in her ears. She would know of evil things in her extreme youth. She couldn't afford to be ignorant. She will begin to tremble when she hears her master's footsteps. If God had bestowed beauty upon her, it would prove to be her greatest curse. Her master met her at every turn, trying to corrupt the pure principles her grandma had instilled. You see, America speaks on slavery as though it was a situation instead of an experience. So when I read slave narratives, I am forced to pause, realizing that the slave has a name. Not only that, but emotions. My vagina and I are one. But if someone were to touch me in a way that I did not like, she and I may no longer pay attention to one another, because she believes that she belongs to someone else, like Massa probably told my great-great-great-grandma that her treasure belonged to someone else. I'm sure that she did not think of her flower as treasure, let alone flowers, more like weeds. Slave woman is touched and holds the product of her rape, somehow able to still talk to God, speaking prayers that she has no other choice but to believe in. Our Father, who art in heaven, stitched the rips of the slave girl's vagina, puts his hands on her forehead, releasing strength into her. And God's grace is sufficient, so she survives with wounds on her that band-aids are afraid to touch. As if slaves got band-aids. Her dignity drips with the blood of her purity. Virtuous woman dies at the sight of rubies, and her voice is invisible to justice. Dear God, you shall wound me to save her. Sincerely, a slave girl.